Vibration inside me also faded, though I grew colder as she reached up to set the goddess on the frost-rimmed windowsill, all the while keeping her hold on Yulia's bandage. Outside, the snowfall kept its steady torrent. My stomach rumbled. Sestra Myrna must be famished. When had she last allowed herself a meal or a moment's rest? Little Dasha and Kira, fast asleep in their beds on the other side of the room, had regained some of the colour in their skin, and many of our peers had been excused from the sick wing after recovering from the epidemic. But Yulia kept declining. When Sestra Myrna began murmuring prayers to the goddess, I took advantage of her eased guard and sat beside Yulia, my dark blonde braid falling over my shoulder. If my hair were any longer, it would have brushed her bloodied arm. My gaze travelled to her lifeless hand. Did I dare touch it? Sestra Myrna would make me leave at once if I so much as whimpered with Yulia's pain. Still, I wished to give my friend my vitality, even if such a thing wasn't possible, even for an Auraseer. All we were good for was divining what others felt, an agonizing way to live and a pitiful existence. Being born with the gift meant becoming the property of the Riaznin Empire, and being trained in this convent for one purpose only: to protect the Emperor. Most girls involuntarily revealed their ability when they were old enough to learn their letters, but too young to control their feelings. Evading the Empire until the age of 17 was unheard of until 8 months ago, when the bounty hunters had brought me through the convent's doors. "I've brought you your idol," I whispered to Yulia. Half-heartedly, I waited for her eyes to open. Once we'd played at trading the colour of our irises, her sapphire blue for my hazel. "I'll give you mine," she had said. Yulia was the only girl at the convent who dared to befriend me. "The girl raised by gypsies," the others would whisper when they thought the stone walls of the corridors wouldn't carry their voices. Little did those Auraseers know, Yulia and I would sneak into their rooms at night and guess at the dreams they were having. Our games taught me more about my ability than any of the Sestra's fruitless exercises for separating what I felt from what everyone else did. At least Yulia believed in me. She had a way of making me feel like her equal, despite being 2 years older. Even if she outlived the other Auraseers and became guardian to the Emperor herself, I trusted I could always depend on her genuine friendship. That was why she needed to live, why I ached to give her some means of healing, instead of a lump of wood depicting a non-existent and powerless goddess. "You're trembling." Sestra Myrna's attention returned to me. Her wrinkles twisted with the shape of worry. I shrugged a shoulder. That strange and still present hunger gnawed inside me. "Yulia must be cold." The Sestra's wrinkles deepened. "Yulia has a fever." "Then you must be cold," I said while she felt my brow. She was no Auraseer, but her sharp gaze seemed to look through me. Unease prickled the downy hairs of my arm. "I am cold?" I didn't mean for my voice to sound small or my words to be a question, because I was more than cold. Deep in the pit of my stomach, an unknown something was forming and clawing its way through the rest of me. Worse than hunger, it made my hands clench with urgency, my jaw lock with an angry need, my eyes mist over with helpless desperation. "This room is a furnace, child," Sestra Myrna frowned. "And your skin is like ice." Her wrinkles crisscrossed into fear. I felt fear too, its force thudding my heart against my ribcage. "Am I ill?" Perhaps she was right. I shouldn't have come to the infirmary, but I'd had the ague last winter at the Romskar camp, so I thought myself immune. She stood and released the pressure from Yulia's arm. "Hold this," she commanded. For a brief moment I hesitated, watching the blood pool from my friend's inner elbow. Then I inhaled, squared my shoulders, and pressed the flat of my palm to Yulia's bandage. At once my muscles cramped, my spine rounded, my breath spilled out in a ragged gasp. A weak but determined longing seeded in my chest, a fight to live, pure and simple.